안녕하세요. 오늘은
안녕하세요.
오늘은 친구 여기 있어요. 우림이에요. Uh, and Urim, if you can maybe introduce yourself and tell a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, of course. My name is Yurim, as Roger introduced me. I was born in Korea, but um, I moved to the States when I was around 13, 14, when I was in middle school, and then I went to school. I went to middle school and high school in here in the States, and also college. And I just recently graduated from college in New York, in the state of New York. And yeah, I'm just really glad to be here with Roger to talk about some different like topics like language and how like the whole process of like learning different languages and you know um, from a perspective of like a young generation, I guess, as a immigrant with like a bilingual background.
Yeah, thank you. Um, the thing that I notice first, when I talk to you, is you have almost no Korean accent. When you speak English, you sound like a native speaker. And
Thank you.
and uh, and I notice this a lot with younger people, younger Korean people. Uh, they speak very, very well, and their parents don't. And their parents have been here just as long as the children, in some cases longer, because if the children were
Mm.
born here, they were here, in those years before that. And yet, the parents, although they may be studying English and living here and so forth, um, I notice in a lot of cases they speak um, pretty well in terms of they have the vocabulary and the grammar and so forth, but their accent is so strong that sometimes the pronunciation is very hard to hear, to understand. And with younger people, they lose that accent. And so, how is it, from your point of view, that
Yeah.
younger people do such a great job of learning languages compared to older people?
Well, I think there are two aspects of it. From like what I think is first one is like simply like the biological one and like the development of your brain as you get older. It's kind of I'm not an expert on this field, obviously, but I just think that it's kind of harder to gain like a new information or like a new knowledge, like language. It's not just, as you said, not just vocabulary, but like language is like also different accents and especially um, like a language like English, like there is certain accent, whether, I mean, whereas Korean languages, it's, I think it's pretty monotone actually. There's not much of an accent. So especially for Korean people, well, it's more of then it's also like a cultural aspect to it that when they grew up in an environment where the language they use don't really have a strong accent,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard for them to learn a language that has an accent.
Yeah.
And without an accent, um, when like native speakers, have a conversation with them is harder to understand. And
Yeah.
another thing is, so that's like biological, your brain kind of stops, or not stops, but like it's
Be
just a little
careful.
bit hard. Yeah.
You're talking to an old person here.
No, it's not. No, um, no, that's but like it's just a little bit harder because you've just been used to using that language for so much years, many years,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's hard to learn a new thing. And compared to that, like these younger generations, second generation, Korean Americans, well, they're exposed to the native speaking environment since childhood, like,
Yeah,
and like, they go to schools, they hang out with friends who are not exclusively Koreans,
yeah,
I think.
yeah,
And that's something that has to, and um, I heard that some Korean, like second generation Korean people who used to live in like a Koreatown, like in a area where there's a lot of, you know, um like a populated area with lots of Koreans, like in LA or like in Queens.
yeah,
These people, they're still young, but they still speak Korean very fluently because
yeah.
they're exposed to both the like American culture as well as like the Korean culture.
Right. Yeah.
And I was also gonna say the second aspect is more cultural. Well, I guess it's yeah, it's exposition to
Yeah.
exposure to what kind of environment you're
Yeah.
in and the necessity. If you go to a school that everyone else speaks English, then you're gonna have to learn
That's right.
English. Your brain's gonna pick up, English words, accents, all that, while you're younger. So your brain is more, you know, open to like learning new things, I guess. But most of the old Korean people also, I've noticed that, and I think this applies to a lot of every like immigrant culture in the United States. They tend to stay within their cultural community because it's well, simply because it's easier for them to,
It is. It's
live.
familiar. Yeah.
Yes, it's familiar with them, and yeah, unless they've had like a unless they already speak English well, they it's just I think it's just natural they tend to, stay within their community, their immigrant communities.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, in your home, 부모, 부모님하고, 동생하고, 보통 영어로 해요? 한국어 해요?
So, oh, to hung, can I answer in
Yeah,
English or yeah?
either way, you can speak
Okay.
English, Korean, whatever
Okay.
you
Yeah, so when I talk with my parents, I usually speak in Korean.
Yeah,
I think that's Korean is my primary language. Um,
yeah.
but when I talk with my sister, my younger sister,
Mm.
because she was a little bit younger than me when we came to the States, so I guess she's familiar with English. So speak, I like talk with her in English. Yeah,
Oh, you do? Okay,
yeah.
okay. So what grade were you in when you first started school, after coming to the US? What grade were you in?
I was in eighth grade in
Eighth
middle
grade.
school. Yeah, yeah.
So how quickly did you adapt to the language? I mean, obviously it must have been difficult when you first started.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've had like a what's it called, like a private English. I had a like an English tutor when I was in Korea, who
Yeah,
was American.
yeah,
So um um, and then I was just having like a talking session mostly like
yeah,
this. It wasn't nothing like structural or like nothing like talking about grammar or anything.
yeah,
Just like having conversations with him most
yeah,
times.
yeah,
And then so I had some prior knowledge, like I could speak a little bit, but it was still so much different from um learning English like an hour a day in a specific time slot or like,
yeah,
then like you have to survive on this language. Like when you
yeah,
go to school, like everyone's speaking English and
yeah,
um um yeah, it was still difficult for me, I guess. And just like we talked about, like the accents, because like um, I think I had like a stronger Korean accent back then, so like some people wouldn't understand me easily, and I wouldn't understand them because they talk in an American accent like very fast, and I
Yeah.
couldn't, yeah, pick up some of their words. So like we had to like, like what can you say that again? Like oftentimes that happened,
Yeah.
and then yeah, and then I guess yeah, like listening and talking in person was the hardest part for me. Like writing or reading, it's for me it was easier because at least I could look at the words and like if I don't understand something or like a sentence or a word, I can use a dictionary or like Google Translate or the internet. But talking in real person in real time is a you can't just look at dictionary and like wait like let me look it up like so it's more difficult and um yeah and it kind of I think it kind of affected my personality too one way or another. um I was already more of a like an introverted person, but then me not sometimes fully understanding what they're saying or like having some little difficulties in communication made me even more introverted, and then
Oh,
it's just a negative loop. Then you stop speaking to a lot of people, then your English skill doesn't really
oh, yeah.
grow. So,
Yeah.
but then after time, I it was a very gradual learning curve that I experienced through middle school and high school too, and then even college years. I think my English still. So I didn't like complete my language like experience when I graduated high school. It's I think it's mostly continued on, and I still learned a lot from even from my college experience too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
um,
can't imagine because when you're learning technical things, science and math, and at a
yeah,
college level, the language becomes very, very complex.
yeah, but yeah, you're absolutely right on that. Like as I went to college and take these more advanced classes, or with like more professional,
Yeah,
terms and all these jargons and all that.
yeah.
But I surprisingly to me like these like specific scientific like terms were easier to understand
Oh,
because for me the hardest part was idioms like
oh,
daily expressions because
right.
these technical terms are they have very such a specific meaning to it that
Yeah, yeah,
it's hard to misunderstand or misinterpret the word, but um as to like a daily like usage of like idioms and like expressions that the Americans people use, it's sometimes kind of vague, and I
yeah,
guess it's the same for
yeah,
any language.
yeah.
So, and I have to understand for the context. So I think
Right.
that was actually harder part for me, I guess.
Yeah. Well, when I watch like K-dramas um, without subtitles, I only understand a percentage of it, maybe 50% sometimes, maybe
Mm,
80% sometimes, depending on what it is. But when there is comedy, like I've tried to watch Korean comedy shows and
yeah,
I don't get it. I just
yeah,
everybody's laughing, and because I'm only understanding a percentage of it, I'm not getting the humor. And I
yeah.
just wonder how that is like in American culture. Humor is a lot of times based on idioms and based on, strange play on words and things like
Mm.
that. Um, how is that for you? Just picking up the humor in things.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. I think humor is not just like for humor to be funny.
Yeah,
We need to understand the context first, and then there's a cultural thing too.
yeah,
some in some culture they find it funny, but in other cultures they don't. And so
Right.
like like American style jokes, like a British joke. So it's all different, slightly different. And along with that, yeah. So when I would watch like a comedy show, like American comedy show,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think because like they mention all these like different celebrity names or like politicians
Yeah.
or all these like cultural references that I don't know about, then I wouldn't get it. But
Yeah.
and also like different you know um like there's like sometimes there's like a rhyme or like a slight like yeah, what's it called, like riddles, like word
Oh, yeah.
changes.
Right. Right.
Yeah, all that. Same with poetry too. Like poetry,
Right. Right.
in order to understand like a poetry, like a poem, like you have to understand the rhythms of the language and like
Yeah.
the rhymes and all that. So
Right.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think
It,
those
it
are
it's hard. I'm definitely not at the level where I can read poetry in Korean. I've tried, and it's like
yeah,
it is so
yes,
hard.
yeah,
It is so hard. I have one language partner who watches American dramas and American comedy, and when we meet every week, he brings lists of idioms and slang and things from TV.
mm,
He says, "What does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean?" And there's
yeah,
so many things that it causes me to realize how strange language is with all the slang and the idioms and everything. Very difficult.
yeah,
Hmm, yeah. So, uh, I'm interested in socialization. Okay. In other words, you come from a different culture and you were in eighth grade. And how was it making friends or just the social difference at school and in other places and so forth for you? And then from eighth grade until now, how has that changed?
yeah. So I was I'd consider myself very fortunate because I in middle school I there were a lot of good friends who would welcome me and then you know guide me through like all these different things. And I'm really glad I met them. I still keep in touch with some of them. And yeah, I think some people are like really nice to me like that, and then there are some people who wouldn't really interact with me because
Yeah.
I think I think they probably assumed and that it'll be harder for them and for me too to
To communicate.
communicate with them, and
Yeah.
I totally understand that because I think that's I because honestly um I've had that thought too that you know but as I grew up um I how do I say it? So as I grew up, I met more people like in high school and in college, and there were in my high school there were lots of like people of color, like students of color. So like
Yeah.
um not just so some people who could like who I could relate to, like lots of Korean students, Korean like second generation Korean students,
Yeah.
Asian students, from Latin America, South
Yeah.
America,
Yeah.
all over the place. And even in college too, like there are lots of, international students.
Mhm.
And I think we share more common backgrounds, whether that's like an Asian culture or like a Korean culture or like as a um like an immigrant generation or like international students,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be in that way. I don't like exclusively have like Korean friends or like Asian friends, but um, I think it's more easier to develop the same shared interest or shared values just because our all of our cultures are designed in that way, and I think it's just human instinct to find more comfort in someone sharing similar values or interests,
Right.
and but still in the environment that everyone still uses English. So I've never spoke Korean in my high school or college, as well, because they were also like more comfortable speaking in
Yeah.
English, just like my
Yeah.
sister does.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but yeah, that's how kind of shaped my social environment.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what are your plans for the next few years now that you graduated from college? What are you going to do?
Yeah, so for this coming fall, starting this fall, I'll be in Louisville, Kentucky. There's the and I'll be it's like a year-long service program, volunteer service program. So I'll be um, at, I guess doing my service at the organization named PCUSA. It's Presbyterian Church USA.
Yeah.
So it's a Christian affiliated organization, and
Yeah.
um, uh, I'm not sure about what kind of a service that they're gonna assign me yet, but I'm very looking forward to it. I'm very happy that
Yeah.
I joined the program.
Hopefully, it's not sweeping floors and cleaning bathrooms.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, something more interesting than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, 아버지는 목사님이에요. What is it like growing up with your father being a pastor? That sometimes it seems like would be a challenge. It's to live up to what your father's expectations are, your mother's
Yeah.
expectations, and so forth. How has that been for you?
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely had lots of questions and sometimes difficulties growing up as a pastor's kid. Um, Not just here in the US but also in Korea. But then we moved to the US and it's um called, socially it's uh more diverse, so much more diverse, and then um I guess there's so much freedom, which is a good thing, but also like an individual freedom, which means you can do a lot of there's a room for making a lot of bad decisions too,
Yeah.
especially if you're young, if you're
Yeah.
mature. So and then growing up, especially in my college years, moving, it was a whole different experience because you know, even in high school, I was kind of I wouldn't like go to like parties or anything like that, and then in college, boom, it's just me. I'm staying in my
Yeah.
dorm, and there's
Yeah.
there's no parents, there's no one,
Right.
no guardian, no one who's like watching over me or anything. So, and especially as a pastor's kid,
Yeah.
in a growing up in a like a Asian household, which is tends to be more strict and more
Yeah.
conservative
Yeah. Yeah.
than an American household. So that was a huge, huge change. And for pretty much everything that I learned from that everything I learned growing up contradicted with what I saw and what I
Oh,
learned, even in the classrooms, in college, in college
yeah,
years, and yeah. But in the end, I think what always kept me um to stay to my own values and to my own rules is was faith, and
yeah,
I'm really grateful for that.
yeah,
Um, because yeah, and then so eventually, I am really thankful that my dad is a pastor, and I had I could he helped me develop such a strong fundamental faith, the core of my values and how I judge
yeah,
every situation in my life.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
and I think it's really important for anyone to have a fundamental core
yeah,
value, because
yeah,
otherwise you can listen to so many people and you make you don't even know what you're gonna do in the
sure,
future. Yeah,
sure.
it's kind of
Well,
scary.
I can say as someone outside your family who knows your father and your mother, um, from my perspective, they are just wonderful people. Uh, you're they are in my English class once a week, and your father is a language partner of mine, so we meet every week, and I just think he's just one of the most wonderful people that I know, and
Thank
so
you,
to grow up with a father like him, at least from my point of view, is a gift.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think so too. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I want to share a picture with you, a photograph. Let me bring it up. Oh, okay. So last week, 지난주에 자전거 탔어요. 같이 탔어요. 우리 둘. And these 이상한 자전거였어요. And so you rode the elliptical bike, and we did a 24-mile ride uh, on the greenway through the woods and so forth. So how was that for you?
oh, it was. I'm so glad I went biking with you. I mean the route is such a beautiful um route, and then I had so much fun riding it too, because like I've never ridden a elliptical bike with the electric motor on it, so like
Yeah,
it was very fun. And then I enjoyed yeah, I really enjoyed riding it with you, and
yeah,
yeah, so thank you again for
yeah, sure.
inviting me to.
Yeah, I enjoyed the time together. And I want to encourage you because 내가 이런 이런 살 때 I'm a 70s my age is
Yeah,
74, and many of the people in my age group don't exercise, and as you get older, it's really important to keep that exercise up. And when I was your age, I was really big on exercise, and I used to run every day. And all through my whole life, exercise has been a part of my life. And I think if you can build those habits when you're young and just maintain them through your life, by the time you get old, you're in good shape and you can enjoy the older years of your life rather than
yeah,
just being in a situation where it's such a burden because physically you have so many things going
yeah,
wrong with you and so forth.
absolutely.
So I encourage you to find opportunities wherever you can uh, to find things that you love to do that are also good exercise. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Well,
Cheers.
Urim, I thank you so much for being a part of this video. I'm sure that many people will enjoy just listening to your perspectives. I think they're very valuable. And your perspectives are really good for me because in spite of my age, I know that I always learn from younger people, and I appreciate the perspectives that you bring and that many young people have brought to me. So thank you so much, and I look forward to
Thank you.
maybe having you do another video down the road. I hope you enjoy your year that's coming up in Kentucky.
Thank you so much. Thank you.